Everybody obviously calls me and says, like, "Did you see Dave on SNL?" And I'm like, yes, we're very good friends. I always watch and send nice texts. Well, he normalized anti-Semitism with the monologue. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know if you've been on comment sections on most news articles, but it's pretty normal.
I learned that there are two words in the English language that you should never say together in sequence. And those words are the and juice. I've never heard someone do good after they said that.
Man, I'll tell you what, I walked away from all that money back when. Dating Comedy Central and all that. I went to Africa for like 5 years.
Yeah, I think you just chickened out. I think you got overwhelmed with the work and you just couldn't hack it.
Man, why's it gotta be about chicken? That's racist.
So did you see SNL? Did you see Dave Chappelle, his monologue?
I did not,
Yeah.
but listen, let me just say this. I'm a Dave Chappelle fan. I have a really strict line on racism, sexism, homophobic, things like that. It's just wrong. It's nothing to joke about. It's a very serious subject. You know, Don, it's crazy. I'm almost 60 years old, and I grew up in Alabama, you know, and obviously I know about Montgomery, Selma, Birmingham, things like that. To still be having racial conversations 60 years later, and we're debating whether people have the right to say it and joke about it, is really, it just makes me sad.
Yeah.
It makes me mad, but it really just makes me sad that 60 years later, we're still having racial conversations 60 years later.
And more than a decade ago, I do have to say, and then I'll let you guys jump in here because I don't want to hog the conversation. One of the first people to contact me after I came out was this man right here. And that was over a decade ago. So these issues are really important to you, and you always stand up for people's individual rights.
Well, you know, Don, first of all, one thing that always has disturbed me as a black person, which really bothers me about the Kyrie Irving situation and the Kanye West situation, first of all, being black in America is already hard enough. And for us to go at other ethnic groups just makes things worse, because it's hard enough being black. And one thing has always disappointed me, black people treat gay people, we are the worst when it comes to treating gay people. And that's one thing growing up, it really always bothers me. And I want to reach out to you and all my gay friends, all my transgender friends, and tell you, man, I got nothing but love and respect for you. I want you to be you. And I wanted you to know that day, because I understand being black, what it's like being gay, because you get mistreated, and it's really unfortunate and sad and stupid, to be honest with you.
I grew up around Jewish people. I have a lot of Jewish friends, so I'm not freaked out by your culture. I know a little bit about it just from hanging around. I'd be like, yo, let's go out at school tomorrow. They'd be like, we can't go out, it's Shana Na tomorrow. I'd be like, where? What is Shana Na? I had so many questions. Why do some of your people dress like Run DMC?
People think Jews control Hollywood. People think Jews control the banks. And to pretend that they don't, and to not deal with it in a straightforward manner, we will never gain any kind of understanding with each other.
I saw one news pundit screaming about Kanye. She said, mental health is no excuse for that type of language. Yes, it is, bitch. You can kill somebody if you're mentally ill. Listen, okay, I don't think Kanye is crazy at all. I think he's possibly not well. Well, I've been to Hollywood. I don't want y'all to get mad at me. I'm just telling you, I've been to Hollywood. This was just what I saw. It's a lot of Jews. Like a lot. But that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of black people in Ferguson, Missouri. Doesn't mean we run the place.
And the whole point of all this is to not let it metastasize and to get it out in the air and talk about it. Like I know you don't like Jews. I see it in your eyes.
It's not my fault that you're lonely. I Dave Chappelle monologue, just at the piece on Trump, because it was pretty powerful. And it was a good reminder of what a formidable candidate he was, and let's face it, is likely to remain. Watch this.
They're declaring the end of the Trump era. Now, okay, I can see how in New York you might believe this is the end of his era. I'm just being honest with you. I live in Ohio amongst the poor whites. A lot of you don't understand why Trump was so popular, but I get it because I hear it every day. He's very loved. And the reason he's loved is because people in Ohio have never seen somebody like him. He's what I call an honest liar. That first debate, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a white male billionaire screaming at the top of his lungs, "This whole system is rigged," he said. And the moderator said, "Well, Mr. Trump, if in fact the system is rigged, as you suggest, what would be your evidence?" You remember what he said, bro? He said, "I know the system is rigged because I use it." I said, God damn. And then Hillary Clinton tried to punch him in the taxes. She said, "This man doesn't pay his taxes." He shot right back. "That makes me smart." And then he said, "If you want me to pay my taxes, then change the tax code. But I know you won't, because your friends and your donors enjoy the same tax breaks that I do." And with that, my friends, a star was born. No one had ever seen somebody come from inside of that house, outside, and tell all the commoners, "We are doing everything that you think we are doing," inside of that house. They just went right back in the house and started playing the game again.
So good.
No, he's
So good and so
right.
dead on.
You remember what he said with Rand Paul? That was what changed a lot of people's votes. Rand Paul, who was I've grown in admiration for him, especially about the lockdowns. And he said, well, Donald Trump represents the toxic brand of politics, quid pro quo. And he went on and he made some legitimate criticism. Trump didn't even blink. He said, yeah, absolutely. You came into my office. You wanted $10,000. I wrote you a check and you've been subservient and you've done whatever I wanted since. And I thought that was just amazing to hear somebody say that. And it kind of blew Rand Paul off the stage. But it's not wise to wrestle with Donald Trump because he's actually been in a wrestling ring himself and he doesn't care. And a lot of people thought, I mean, if you look at the people like an Anthony Fauci or even a Howard Stern or the Clinton group, anybody who thought they were going to go mano to mano with Donald Trump and just trash him, they didn't end up as well as they thought they would. And the other thing that's ironic and it's also tragic, Megan, is that we have this group of candidates and Trump is just baying at the moon that they all owe him. So it is true that he really helped DeSantis win in 2018. Excuse me. Yeah, he really did. And it was a very close race. Mike Pompeo will probably run, but we wouldn't have known him, Mike Pompeo, unless Trump had appointed him CIA Director and Secretary of State. He really empowered Nikki Haley by putting her in the national scene as UN ambassador, where she was very good and she got a lot of good airplay. And he endorsed Ted Cruz and made up with him. So that's what's sad about it. And Mike Pence, I don't think Mike Pence had a career left until Donald Trump selected him vice president. So in a way, that makes it even more tragic that all these people are going to run against him. He's going to scream and yell that he had a hand in giving them prominence. And they're going to say, yes, you did, but I don't owe you forever, given your behavior or what you've said. I can't condone that. And so it's just, the whole thing is tragic because we all know what he has to do and he knows what he has to do and he can't.
And by the way, Rand Paul, he's going to be on the show tomorrow. So one of the
I
things
really
that's sad
admire
about
Rand Paul now. I mean, he's another person that after what Trump did to him like that, rather than just get irate and he kind of ended his presidential campaign, he began to see that Donald Trump had some ideas and policies that were similar to his own. And he was very pragmatic. And what he did with those COVID hearings, I thought was absolutely necessary, and we all
He's
owe
the
him a debt of
reason we
gratitude.
know. He's the reason we know half of what we know about Dr. Fauci. He just wouldn't let it go.
Absolutely.
And he, as a doctor, saw it early on, and the lies, the dishonesty, the misleading. That's a separate issue, but
And
we definitely
he's
owe him
he's
a debt.
unafraid. When the whole Pelosi thing happened, it was, everybody was sending their thanks. Maybe it was on tour, but he reminded everybody that Pelosi's own daughter, when he was seriously injured with lung damage and broken ribs and pneumonia, she had said, "Seems like your neighbor was right." She was celebrating that, and she used not her married name, but the Pelosi name to give that message resonance. And Nancy Pelosi didn't say a word. And that was terrible for her to do that. And he brought that up, and everybody said, "Oh my God, he can't at this moment." Yeah, he can do that, to remind everybody that it's a two-way street. And once you break the rules, then you can't expect everybody to take you seriously as an enforcer of the rule.
That's right. That's exactly right. And by the way, most people were not saying it didn't happen or that Paul Pelosi deserved it. I didn't see any person of prominence saying that. There were just questions about the story being released by the police.
So my heart. Never thought I'd find love like this. Never thought I'd be waiting. Move your body, let your spirit soar. Ella, you're out and move your body. And the way you speak to me brings thoughts. I always hoped that you would stay. Cherish my life.